Howdy, folks. I'm Zippy Zirconium, zealously zinging Zen zillionaires.
I'm Amber.
And Amber, how do I have access to Zen zillionaires? And will they give me their billions?
They won't.
Alright, folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling the Truth? I'm a 25-year-old female, and I left the father of my child almost a year now, due to him cheating on me. He married the woman that he cheated with. I have been watching the story unfold and keeping quiet. A friend of his told the woman about me and every single thing that happened in our relationship. Also about him cheating on me with her. That person also gave out my contact info to this woman. Remember, I was just watching, I never talked to this woman, and I had no intention to talk to her. If it were up to me, then she would have lived her life without knowing that I had even existed. Anyways, she called me up, begging for me to confirm the cheating allegations, because she doesn't want to be called a homewrecker. I told her to go talk to her husband because I shouldn't be involved and I don't want to be. She said that he's lying to her and telling her that none of it's true and she doesn't believe him. She also begged me to confirm the date that we broke up, so I told her. She asked me to send photos of us together up until 2022 when we broke up because they started dating in 2021. So I shared a Google Photos link with her so she could see. In one of the photos, he was with me at a Christmas party in 2021 and told me that he had to leave to go deal with a customer. So I said okay, only to find out that he had been with her, in the same clothes, on the same night. She said that she's filing for divorce and is so sorry. This man didn't even tell the lady that he had kids. Now he's calling me to tell me that I ruined his life. All I did was tell him the truth, which he should have done. He's a liar and a cheat, and he should be figured out. I'm editing this post to answer two consistent questions. 1. How did he hide the kids? The children stay with me. He sends them money from time to time, but he does not answer calls or visit. I did not know that she didn't know about the children either. I found this out when she called me. She told me that she did not know about them. His friend told her the names and everything. Why didn't you go to the woman? I thought that this woman knew about me. I was not going to approach her and say, he's cheating on you with me. I was his wife till I found out about you. No, I was going to fight her because I thought she knew. I was advised against fighting her. They said that I would have done much more harm than good, so that's why I didn't approach her. I would not have done it properly. Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. If your ex-husband feels like his life has been ruined, it's because he is the one who's going around lying and cheating and hiding things from everyone.
You know what I love about this situation? The fact that when he divorced OP, it wasn't ruining his life.
Right.
But suddenly now, when it's this other woman, it's ruining his life.
Well, and I like how, cheating on OP, didn't have any concern for if OP's life was being ruined.
Yeah, exactly.
Ditching the kids and having absolutely no contact with them beyond sending them a little cash. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the kids' lives are, topsy-turvy.
Yeah, this is a very one-sided, very selfish point of view on life. OP, you didn't ruin his life. He ruined his own life and everyone else's that he was entangled with. Like, this woman didn't want to divorce him, I'm sure. You didn't want to divorce him, I'm sure. But here we are. Everyone's getting divorced, and your ex is still a terrible human being. So, yeah, he's selfish. He's self-centered. His life was already ruined, and it was only a matter of time before it all caught up with him. Well, let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Baby Clarat says, so what about his family? They support him with the lie and didn't say anything about the children to his new wife. The grandma's still in contact with the kids. She knows the new wife. If it was me, I would go no contact with all of them for supporting this behavior. And OP replies, I've been calling them to see if they could talk to him about his absence with the boys, but nobody has been answering my calls. Even one of his sisters, whom I thought I was close to, wouldn't answer my calls. So I don't know if they know, but the sister is a Christian, so if the relationship was explained to her, I don't think that she would be on his side. And you know what this sounds like, why they're not answering the calls? Probably because her ex smeared her name and accused her of doing horrible things or
Yeah.
cheating or any number of things.
It's very common for the person who cheats to then go on and be like, yeah, I was cheated on. And so if they are very religious and think OP's the cheater, then they're not going to answer any calls from her.
Yeah, chances are if you were really close to these people and suddenly now they're ghosting you, they're on his side, but probably because of deception.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Laughing at My Housemate When He Suggested That I Not Shower While on My Period? I'm a 31-year-old female, and I live in a shared house. One of my housemates, Jack, is a 30-year-old male, and he has never lived with a woman outside of his mother, but likes to say that he is aware of women's issues and calls himself a feminist. For instance, he doesn't agree with saying that no uterus, no opinion, because it's my job to be informed about any issues that could affect me if I become a father or husband, which is fine until it came to this issue. So, like most women, I have periods. I, however, cannot use tampons or cups due to a condition called vaginismus. It's pads all the time for me. I also shower during this time. I know, the shock. Wow. I prepare a new pad onto a clean pair of underwear. Shower is normal, dry myself off in the shower, and then step straight into the underwear. And then obviously check the bathroom for a mess. Jack's never complained, nor has anyone else, so I figured my system was working. Cue today, and I can't shower for 48 hours due to a heart monitor test. I was jokingly complaining about how I was never going to survive without my nightly shower, and Jack looked up confused and said, How is any of this different when you're on your period? I asked him what he meant, and he said, Well, you can't shower while you're on your period unless you use a tampon. And I laughed because I thought he was joking. He has shown before that he was at least semi-educated on women, which he got angry at. Jack said, Wait, well, what do you do? And I said, I shower? It wasn't that I was getting afraid. Jack said, without protecting my bathroom, he does not own the house. And then he went off. Apparently, my period is unhygienic. It can cause infection if I left it on the shower floor. And he was under the impression that I hadn't been showering for a week when I had my period or was using tampons. I said due to reasons I can't use tampons, and he told me that I am banned from showering when I'm on my period, which I laughed again, at which I did apologize and say, I'm sorry for laughing, but the audacity of that statement. I told Jack that he has no way of enforcing this, nor would I be sticking to this, and he said, fine. Then every time you shower, you need to bleach the bathroom afterwards. To which I couldn't help but laugh again, apologizing, but saying, we're in a shared house. That's not reasonable when other people need to use the shower or toilet. And considering that I'm sure at least somebody else urinates in the shower, it's ridiculous to only enforce this on me. I brought that up and he said nobody does that. I've never heard of that in my life. So I just had to walk away. Jack's been complaining to other housemates about this, saying that we need to watch out for me. And we all just think he's absurd for banning me, but a couple people think that I should at least try to compromise, so I'm confused. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk, and what is the compromise
There's
here?
no compromise. No, OP, you're not a jerk for this. As a menstruating person, I would not have apologized for laughing at him. I think you're well within your right to laugh at someone who makes a really, really ignorant request.
You know, I think that OP didn't do anything wrong in this situation. They are going to shower. There's nothing wrong with showering when you're menstruating. If he doesn't like it, then he can wear shower shoes.
And if he wants the shower bleached, he can bleach the shower himself. But what I wonder is, like, if someone cut their leg or something while they're shaving, would he, like, start freaking out about that? Or is it just period blood in particular? Because there's no difference between bloods, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he has some kind of aversion here, and I certainly think that it's fine for him to have an aversion, but this is on him, and since this is a shared house, he needs to accept that people are going to shower, and especially when they're menstruating, and I don't think that this is a reasonable expectation. I think that if he's really this uncomfortable by it, again, the solution is for him to do something about it, and not necessarily for OP. I mean, I could understand if she was leaving, like like globs of blood in the shower,
Right.
right? I mean, being like, hey, can you please clean up after yourself when you get done?
Well, that's the thing is like if there was blood, absolutely like OP would be on the wrong for not cleaning it up. But because if you make a mess, you clean up your mess. But he didn't even know. He wouldn't have
Hmm.
had any idea if they hadn't had this conversation.
So I don't think that OP's in the wrong here. I think his request is unreasonable, and there are things that he can do on his part to make himself more comfortable. So let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Expensive Day 3551 says, not the jerk. I'm surprised that he doesn't ask you to go into a special hut in your unclean time. And Psychological Bit 5422 says, or bathe in only cold water and eat only dry bread. And Lost Random Dude says, to be fair, cold showers can be pretty good for you. Dry bread, on the other hand, has only two uses, birds and to use as a hammer.
You shouldn't feed bread to birds in most cases.
Alright, folks, and our last letter is titled, Wife threatened to leave 5-star reviews saying that our waitress allowed underage drinkers. Am I the jerk for pledging to never take her out again? My wife is becoming a real Karen these days, and I've begun to fear going to restaurants with her. She is very demanding of service workers, which I don't really get since she used to be one herself before she got her job in finance. Today she went too far. We went out for dinner and she tried to order an item that wasn't on the menu. She hadn't been able to decide between two different entrees, so she wanted both of them on one plate for the price of one of them. The waitress said that she couldn't do that, and my wife smiled and cocked her head in the same way that I've seen her do hundreds of times as she prepared to rip into whichever poor worker had crossed her that day. She told the waitress that if she couldn't accommodate her wishes, then she would text all of her friends to leave an overwhelmingly positive online review, with the catch that said friends would all pretend to be teenagers who would write that the waitress was so cool for serving them alcohol without checking their IDs. I have to give her credit, it was genius, and more importantly, it worked. But it isn't right, and I know that. This poor waitress looked so stressed about the prospect of losing her job, and it broke my heart. Later in the car, I yelled at my wife for becoming a literal movie villain and told her that she crossed a new line every time we went into public. And then I told her that I was never going to eat with her at a restaurant again, and she started to cry and ran out of the car. Am I the jerk here? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
I mean, you're certainly not the jerk for telling her you won't eat with her again, but why didn't you say something in the restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand not liking confrontation, but this poor woman is basically given an ultimatum. Either of which she does could cost her job. Why didn't you talk to the manager and be like, hey, my wife is being a bullying monster. Can you just kick her out or something?
Or maybe the proper thing would have been just stand up and said, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then walk out of the restaurant and
Yeah.
said, when you're done, you can come and get me. I'll be in the car. And I think that this is one of those situations where you are passively allowing her to get away with these things. You're an accessory to this. And I'm not saying that you're in particularly in the wrong here, but you need to be putting down a foot. You know, there needs to be a line drawn in the sand where you're no longer going to be part of this charade.
Right. I mean, it sounds like this has been escalating for a long time, and she's just been getting away with worse and worse behavior, and you haven't talked to her. You haven't done anything that makes her stop.
Well, I mean, maybe they've talked to her, right?
Yeah.
But clearly talking isn't doing anything. They need to take action at a certain point. You need to, like, what she did here was so far outside of the norm that I would have just stood up and said, no, I'm not going to be part of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then leaving the girl like a $20 tip or something like
Right.
that and just walk out.
Exactly. Because what she's doing is literal theft.
Yeah. And it's all so that she can exercise her ego. It
Yeah.
just sounds like she's on a power trip. She wants to kind of like rub it in the face that she's now better than this job that she used to do. And I think that she needs to seek therapy because this is somebody who has a lot of stuff to work through. You don't get to treat people, service workers, like they're subhuman just because you're trying to distance yourself from your old past. So yeah, I think she deserved to have you say this to her, but I think that she deserved more.
Yeah. And I mean, again, I understand public confrontation can be uncomfortable, but when someone is doing something really awful, like it's important to at least remove yourself from the situation so they know you don't condone this.
Mm-hmm. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Armchair Detective 84 says, not the jerk, and stand by what you said. No more eating out. Tell her that you're embarrassed. And Martin Glow says, this should leave embarrassment far behind. Tell her that her behavior is shameful. And since she won't see it, you're ashamed both of her and for her. And OKAd5059 says this comment, and show her these comments. We are all utterly disgusted with her. She's a real Karen, and how she acted to that poor server was shameful. Your wife needs to see that while a Karen might applaud her, the rest of society thinks that she should be ashamed of herself. She acted entitled and like she was better than the server. That is not acceptable behavior. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got a beverage of choice right here. And Amber, she allegedly has a joke, but it's not funny.
A monster landed on Earth and decided to take a cruise on an ocean liner. At supper time, he took a seat in the dining room. Would you like a menu, sir? Asked the steward. That won't be necessary, said the monster. Just bring me the passenger list.
That's right, folks. Monsters that eat people. I mean, we've had monsters that eat dishes, and now monsters that eat people. At least it wasn't a vampire. And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy, not Friday, Junior. I don't know why I was going to say that. Happy Wednesday, hump day. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance. And please, have it be something that's the truth.
Periods aren't gross or shameful. They are natural biological functions.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!